Thanks. All right. Take it. So, first off, to those of you who thought that I might come out here tonight and present on how to make your own prison wine, my sincerest apologies, because I decided to go in a different direction. I'm going to talk about creative false starts and failures. This winter, I was in my basement looking at all of my backup CDs and DVDs and hard drives, and I figured I needed to find a place to consolidate that and make it all kind of safe so I don't lose it. So I bought this thing. This is a 4 terabyte drobo, and it has everything I've done in the last 12 years. And I was going through some of my personal projects, kind of going down memory lane, just checking out things, and I noticed that most of everything that I've ever done is unfinished. It's like I start an idea, and for some reason, I stop working on it, and the idea just kind of stops. And so it kind of made me think about Turtleheads. And yes, it's a poop joke, I know. I am nothing if not classy. But these things are kind of like Turtleheads. It's like, I've got this idea, and I'm really working to kind of get that idea out, and it's going, but then all of a sudden, right back up in the sphincter it goes. And so I figured I would kind of bring out some of my Turtleheads, and we'll look at them together, shall we? I have a lot of illustrations on my drobo. I've tried to make a lot of self-portraits for some reason. This is an ex-boss that I did an illustration of once. And I did a poster series of a bunch of friends of mine. This is actually one of the more finished ones, but still unfinished. Tried to make a lot of art for my house that never got finished. This is one thing. Movie posters. This is a nice one. For a short that I did 11 years, and everybody at one point did the 45-degree angle stripes in like 2000. And this is Greg Smurlo with a big hamburger in his mouth. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Cafe Press a bunch of years ago would allow you to make lunchboxes. And I thought it would be really cool if I owned a lunchbox that showed the process of the sandwich that I was eating turning back into the next sandwich that I was going to have. This is a rough draft, and I own no such lunchbox, unfortunately. I have a lot of storyboards on this hard drive, most of which I have no clue of the context that they belong to anymore. These are just a couple of them. I thought they were interesting. This one over here, fantastic copywriting. Beaver says, "You're not going to find." I'm intrigued. I want to know what the hell I was thinking at that point. I'm not sure. But here's one thing that I actually was about to finish, but never got it. I was asked to make the album art for the last Pendergast album, and got about 85% finished with the whole thing, and then the lead singer decided he wanted to design his own album art, and so that got shelved, and I just wanted to show it because I like it a lot. I think it's pretty good. Of course, I have a ton of interactive work on there that's just completely unfinished. Most of it is portfolio designs. I would kind of start, and I would get the flash menu kind of coded and halfway designed, and then for some reason would stop. And so I have tons of that. But this is great. My brother-in-law and I got drunk one night, and we decided that it would be a great idea to develop a social network based around people's yard decorations. And you could kind of, rate them hot or not style. And I do own yardflare.com, by the way, because this was such a good idea. I bought it that night. But the largest folder in my personal projects hard drive belongs to this. This is a little thing called Tiki Bar, the animated series, and I have been working on this for 7 years. And I swear to God, one of these days I'll actually finish it. But the whole thing started one night I couldn't sleep. And so I got up and I grabbed a sketchbook, and I just started sketching and just doodling or whatever. And I came up with this swanky retro tiki bar, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I just kept doodling around it and coming up with different things. And by the time I finally went to bed about 3 or 4 in the morning, I had come up with all of the characters for this animated series. And not only had I come up with the characters, I'd also come up with character descriptions for all of them and the plot summaries for 10 episodes of this show. And I was like, damn, this is a good idea. I got to get on this. And so I did. I started working on it. I wrote a pilot script. I got together with friends. We started doing voiceover sessions. I composed music for this thing. We started doing preliminary animation like you saw. I had a guy in California helping me design set backgrounds for this thing, and it was great. But then things kind of happened, and it cooled off, and then I started and cooled and started and cooled until here it is, 7 years later, and this thing's probably only 25 to 30% finished. And it's really hard, I think, to finish it now. Mostly because the script is highly irrelevant. This is a couple of pivotal characters of the pilot. This is the Molson twins. And, I mean, who doesn't like a good Olsen twins joke these days, right? Nobody, because you don't write things based on pop culture references, I've come to realize, because you're screwed from the start. But I get stressed out about this project at least twice a year because I'm like, oh my God, another year has gone by that I haven't finished Tiki Bar. What the hell? So I had to sit down and think about why is it that I want to finish this project? Do I want to finish it because I want to create something that I like and that I'm proud of? Or do I want to create something because of preconceived notions of whatever somebody else would like? And I got so wrapped up in the philosophy of this whole thing that I lost my train of thought and I forgot to finish this deck. So, you know, here's another thing that is completely just halfway and unfinished. But I did come up with one revelation out of this whole thing. And it's okay to fail when there is nothing on the line. These are all personal, creative experiments. If I don't finish them, that's okay. You know, if Tiki Bar dies, then, you know, so be it. There will be another idea to come along for me to try out. But at the same time, I do think that I probably need to finish something. So the next time I work on a personal project, I am going to sit down, I'm just going to bite my bottom lip, and I'm going to see if I can pop one of those turtle heads out. Thanks.